Good morning or good evening or whatever time of day it is where you are. I'm Brand Mavrick. I'm the alter ego of the man who wrote my book, Cool on the Outside, Screaming on the Inside. I've been asked to tell you my story, so here it is. At least the parts I don't mind telling. Let me start with something that will surprise you a little. I haven't always been this cool. As a kid, I was awkward and raw. Windbreaker zipped to the chin, haircut done at home. I used to hurl snowballs at my little brother, Luke. One day at the local skating pond, I hit him hard. Fastball, square to the face. We were both surprised as I generally missed. No harm done, just a little slush under his Red Sox cap. Mrs. Brown, our fourth grade teacher, saw the whole thing. She called my parents and said I had some issues. She had a point, but instead of digging into it, I made a decision. I was done with issues. No more problems, no angst, no mess, no distracting emotions. But how? Some kind of armor, maybe a new identity? I tried them on like jackets. The hoods were recruiting, engineer boots, pocket blades, hair like black ice. I could have passed if I scowled. The preppies were wearing madras shirts like they were blood types. Sleeves rolled with surgical precision. They wore glasses they didn't need. The rockers bebopped through hallways with radios welded to their ribs. Tempting. All of it. Then it hit me. Why pledge to a sub-tribe when the banner I wanted was the thing above them all? Cool, that's the mask I picked. Eventually it fit. I couldn't define it then, but reading detective stories and watching westerns had shown me that cool is quiet. It doesn't flinch. It walks into a room like it was there before you and then leaves without saying goodbye. That's what I wanted, to be untouchable. People think cool is about style. In 8th grade, I thought that meant wearing fingerless gloves and quoting Ferris Bueller. Today, I am wearing black. But it's not some bold aesthetic statement, it's an opt-out. My color palette has the emotional spectrum of a fax machine. A few accessories, sure. Maybe a watch, the old Timex my dad gave me on my 10th birthday. Something that says, I didn't try, I just am. But the real work happens off stage. It's 2:07 a.m., the fridge is humming. You're standing there in your underwear eating cereal out of the box. The breeze nudges the window curtain like it's checking in. That's the moment, that's where cool lives. Do you flinch? Do you narrate your own loneliness? Or do you just chew in peace? Cool is staying upright when you're slipping. It's elegant survival, a stylish collapse you've folded like laundry. It's the ability to endure the absurdity of being human without flinching, to keep chewing your midnight cereal while the fridge hums like a low-budget therapist. Because true cool isn't external polish, but internal ease. It's how you inhabit yourself when the mask is off. So yeah, these days I'm cool. But to get here, it took years of pretending not to care. Cool isn't inherited, it's not a gene or a birthright, and it sure as hell isn't that guy from high school who now sends emails about fantasy football and variable annuities with the subject line, great opportunity. Becoming cool took time. It was learned. It was osmosis more than effort. Those of us who yearned to be cool watched the ones who had it. The way they moved, never hurried or loud. Their jackets always fit. They didn't try, they just arrived. We noticed that cool people don't explain. They don't lead with a story about parking or traffic on the Merritt Parkway. They don't check their phones unless it's to end a conversation. They know that silence beats filling empty spaces with talk about the weather. They know that how you stand matters more than what you say. So we studied, we stole, we adapted. Some of us started spending time with cooler people, people with ice cube trays that made spheres, people who owned leather couches, people whose apartments had good lighting and who had opinions on vintage whiskeys. We picked things up, tricks, language tweaks, posture adjustments, how to nod like you already knew, how to wear sunglasses indoors without appearing like you're part of an interpretive dance troupe that broke up last week. Cool doesn't announce itself, it just shows up. You'll know it when you see it. Cool didn't just happen to people like me. It crept in sideways, like starting to wear hats because your hair's thinning, and one day someone says, that actually suits you. And boom, you're a hat guy now. Not by design, just by survival. Cool came through small choices, half decisions you barely noticed. A pause before waving, a pause that lasted too long but somehow worked. It was a slow, strange evolution, a series of micro decisions that didn't feel like much at the time, not talking just to fill the air, learning when not to care. By the time I was 20, I'd figured out how to lean, how to exhale like I'd been there before, how to say nothing about a band unless they broke up right after I saw them in a one-off show in Berlin. And eventually I pulled it off, cool on the outside, but inside, still that kid in the windbreaker, still wondering if Mrs. Brown was right. There's a strange kind of pressure that comes with being composed. You become a mirror for other people's expectations. People assume you've cracked the code, that you've got it figured out. They don't see you eating cereal out of the box in the dark or standing in a grocery aisle staring at 37 jars of peanut butter, forgetting why you're even there. You become curated, which is fine until it isn't. That's why this book exists, not to fix it, just to name it. To say, here's what helps me stay together. Or to at least help you maintain the illusion long enough to survive another company off-site facilitated by a guy named Brad who uses too much hair gel and where flip charts and sticky notes pass for vision. Coolness isn't a destination you reach, it's more like dental hygiene, maintenance, effort disguised as nonchalance. So, In Cool on the Outside, Screaming on the Inside, I'll walk you through my systems: how to stand at a party, how to dress without trying too hard, how to look like you've read something this month. You'll learn how to vanish just fast enough, how to maintain your mystique without becoming a sociopath, how to answer "what do you do?" without spiraling. Here's the deal: this isn't a self-help guide. It's not a manifesto. It's not for branding consultants or recovering theater kids. It's just a short, sharp list of things that have helped me retain a barely acceptable level of cool in the modern world without losing what's left of my soul. No need to take notes. Just read the book like you're eavesdropping on someone you're not sure whether to admire or avoid. We'll cover presence, absence, posture, texting, leaving early, staying too long, and putting yourself back together after a silent internal collapse.